what up, fam? I just saw you on the gram. I told him you was coming over with 2 big chains and a bracelet.
What's up? Hey, I promise not to pull a cat on y'all today, man.
88.
Hey, shoot. If it get us all them views, you can do what the hell you want.
88, what's up?
What it do, man? How you feeling?
What you rocking on? You got the orange in there too?
Man, got the one. It's the AP, man. I had to match the kicks.
Man, you always been fresh though.
By the way,
congratulations to your son.
Man,
that's
thank
dope.
you, man.
I like seeing that.
I appreciate
I'm working
it,
with mine right now, so.
I saw him outside.
Yeah, that's my guy, man.
How old is he?
13.
That's awesome. Cause he's a little younger. Does he know who Dad was though?
Yeah, he know. He
So he don't have to watch the YouTube.
Nah, he do. He watch everybody. His favorite guys is Chase and Jefferson.
Jettas.
Those his guys.
LSU boys.
Yep, LSU boys. Those his guys. He wears hair just like them, hitting the gritty and all that. I say, yeah, them 2 guys to follow. So I respect it.
They can play.
Does he do the?
Oh, he do that.
Where did that come from?
Dante Hall. Mm-hmm. But I had put a meaning behind mine. I put a meaning behind mine, just X out the negative. I always felt like since I was young, I never been given a fair chance and just always defeating the odds and, just give me that extra motivation, to show the guys who come up just like me, you can do the same thing. So
I love it.
That's where it come from.
That junk took over the stadium,
right.
every time you scored. That you left leading touchdown getter in an entire organization and with the Dallas Cowboys. That's huge, bro.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key.
Sometimes we forget what you were at your height, and I think people forgot that too, man. That's just why it's cool that you're here. Chan, obviously, Freddie T. We're here with Dez Bryant. I'm RC at the Pivot. I'm gonna say this though, right? So they was like, hey man, Dez coming on the show. I was like, all right, let me go study up. Let me get right. So it came out April 19th, 2010, right? So it was a few days before the draft, and it said, all of Dez Bryant's teammates, coaches, friends say he's a great person and a great teammate. They say he only got one problem. He's habitually late.
Hey, it holds a lot of truth. As a youngin', that's where a lot of it stems from. No structure. No guidance. Having to learn along the way. Yeah. And finally I was getting to it, and it made a big difference.
Man, that's awesome. Tell me a little bit, Dez, about how moving around in high school, especially in those formidable years, affected you. We had Michael Beasley on, and basketball is a different game, right? And you can jump to different schools and do different things, be in different homes, but it's hard to maintain relationships in that. How did those years of your life affect you?
It wasn't really no big deal. That was just my environment. That's where I was from, where I can lay my head, I was comfortable. To be really honest, growing up, I didn't really even, take football that serious. It was just something that I did. It kept me out of trouble. And I never forget, I remember my head coach, got arrested, so he pulled me off to the side. He asked me, did I want to go to college? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I would watch college football, on TV, but I was like, damn, hopefully one day, I can do that. But I ain't really, take it that serious.
Really?
But yeah, like I was saying, he pulled me off to the side and he asked me, did I want to go to college? And I was like, shit, yeah. And he pulled all these letters from off and underneath his desk, and it was just scholarships from everywhere.
Wow.
And I didn't know what none of that stuff mean. I didn't know my position rank. I didn't know any of that stuff. People got to chant my name, cheering my name. That made me, fall in line, made me want to stay away from people that, didn't mean me no good. That was family, friends, or whoever. Mm-hmm. I saw that as an opportunity to really get out.
I love it.
Hey, Dez, we just posted our 2-year thing.
Yeah.
And we talked about, purpose, integrity, talked about the guests, valuing people, all that different stuff. So purposely, I wore the X hat.
Oh,
Shout out to Arrow for the hat and sending me the package. Last time we saw you, bruh, Chan was talking about Winn-Dixie smelling like mop water and grandma booty.
Dez brings something out of me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan.
That was the last time we seen you, bro. So with that, man, like I said, I'm a fan. I always been a fan, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm doing a lot better than the last time I saw you guys.
Right.
I don't know, man. I just got to a point in my life to where I wanted to take accountability. You know, if it was me being in the wrong or somebody else being in the wrong, you know, what I mean by taking accountability is just taking amongst myself to put myself in, you know, the best situation that I want to see myself in.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at right now. You know, no blame game. If it's for me, it's for me. If it's not, I wish you well and I love you.
Along those lines, talking about accountability, I gotta ask you this, because there was a tweet that kind of came out a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
You said, and I want to ask you if it still stands true, or you was just trolling. I really want to get in a boxing ring with Stephen A. Smith and Stu President.
This nigga ain't gonna fight nobody.
Folks, let me finish the tweet.
Oh, man.
Folks like them talk the way they do because they know they can't be touched. But I wish they would agree to get in the ring with me so I can unleash my frustration against them. I can beat the crap out of them without going to jail. Well, you just trolling or you really want to box?
I was trolling.
Stephen A. love you.
I love Stephen A. too. I was really trolling. You know, I guess, you know, one of my things is I'm real big on, you know, treatment, you know, fair treatment when it comes to black and white athletes. You know, and it's really nothing against the white athlete. It's just how the narrative, you know, is spun. So, you know, I always got a problem with that. We work 10 times harder, clear as day. I got a lot of experiences to where, you know, that make me lash out sometimes, you know, the way I do. Like I said, I have no hate, you know, towards Josh Giddey. I don't even know the man. Just thought it was just unfair, you know. What's that word? I can never pronounce it right. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Pronounced it perfectly.
The way the media kind of fit that in there, depending on who it is, it just bothers me, man. Like, I'm like, okay, let's talk about him the way we talked about my guy on draft day, who got drafted to the Charlotte Hornets.
You're speaking to
Brandon
Malika
Miller.
now.
It's Brandon
Yeah.
Williams.
Malika situation. Yeah, I got it.
Let's talk about that. I have no hate towards her neither. You know, it's just let's just have that same energy, and I just kind of feel like it's never the same energy. This same shit been going on for years and years and years and years, and you know, I really stand for the players. You know, because I get it. We've been in these locker rooms.
Right.
You know, we have these locker rooms talks, and if people really heard the locker room talk, I kind of feel like they'll get a true perspective, you know, from the athlete. You know, athletes, they'll text you on the side versus, you know, tweeting. I know y'all know what I mean when I say that. You know, and I'm just that type of person where it's like, man, hey, I don't even want none of that. Let's speak up, you know, let's speak up and really try to, you know, make a change.
Hey, you say you ain't want none of that. That's what Stephen A. said.
What?
He said, you can't Nate Robinson him. That rotator cuff video, he said that was his hype.
Oh my gosh.
I'm messing with you, man. I love both of y'all, bro.
I really do love Stephen A. Stephen A., when you see this, just know I love you, boss.
Yeah.
There's no hate. I was just trolling.
To your point, though, about the different way narratives are written, it's in the macro and what you're talking about, like the big scale, but it's also micro. For instance, Ja Morant comes back, and whatever little dance these kids are doing now, where they hear like this, when Ja Morant's headline was written on social media, it was Ja Morant shoots guns, right, in celebration. And then Quinn Ewers from Texas do the exact same thing, and it was Ewers, I can't even say his name, Ewers, whatever, celebrates a touchdown. Right, and it was just the differences in ways that athletes are covered. So I don't believe that you're wrong there, and I'm in the media. You know, for instance, when I got an opportunity to speak about Sean Payton and his behavior toward Russell Wilson, I said he behaved as a thug.
Yeah.
Right, and there were people who had a problem with me, but I said, no, we have seen these sorts of behaviors from African-American athletes. That's how they've been characterized. So I took exactly what was happening in the media to us and did it to them, and obviously, they didn't like it. When you are speaking out now, right? You're speaking out from a former player's perspective. You're talking about the feelings that you've had in the locker room. What has made you so willing to put your voice to those things?
It's the maturity, man. And like I said, I'm biased when it comes to the athlete because I know some of the things that I know damn near everything, you know, we go through, you know, from the start to the end. And I always told myself, I even told Jerry, I was like, whenever I'm done with the game, I want to keep my hands back in the locker room. I feel like I got a lot to offer. The guys don't even think about the end, of the game. We all gonna have our time. And how do you prepare for that? So, one thing I know, like I said, is football and the athletes well. And I was like, man, I'm just gonna invest my time into that. I'm gonna kick it to them straight. We ain't for the bullshit. Hey, dude, you don't do this, your ass gonna be done, You don't get around somebody that know, a lot or just a little bit more than you. Your ass gonna be done. You're gonna be ass out. You're gonna be broke. You're gonna find yourself in a bad situation. Like I said, I remember when I first got into the NFL, and I like to say I was dumb as shit. Like I really was. All I cared about was the game of football. I didn't care about managing my life. I didn't care about any of that stuff. I had the media saying this about me. I don't even know where half of this shit be coming from. I was like, you know what? I just don't even care. Just leave me alone. Let me play football. Let me mind my business. What really got me up on game was going through the bad experiences, the bad surroundings. And, even before I understood anything, it was my gut that told me that this ain't right. I need to figure this out. I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to let it play itself out. And I'm going to figure out how to get through whatever this is that's not right for me. And, I did that, and, I've accomplished, things that, most guys that, come from where I come from don't. And I just feel like there's a lot of guys in the NFL, who need that guidance. And, I'm here to deliver that. And I'm here to give it to them in a way that they understand, a way I know that they understand.
Do you think it makes a difference? For what you do you think it makes a change? Because like you're saying, like a nigga come from the hood, he come from the hood, he gonna get bread. And then I didn't listen to nobody my first 4-5 years. And then I started listening to OGs later in my career. Do you really think it makes a difference for you to talk to these guys, to be around these guys? Because I know some of them are receptive and some of them ain't.
That's facts, big facts. For me, I believe in what I'm doing. If they get it, if they don't, I'm gonna still preach the same thing because I've been through it, I walked it, I've talked it, I lived it. I done made it out, and if they choose not to listen, I mean, it's all good. Like I just said, I'm gonna keep speaking. I get a lot of guys who hit me up now who ask me for advice. And, for me, I like giving it, because I know, like, that's something that I know. So, it just makes me happy to just give it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Do you think the game itself, like the NFL itself, who can use someone like yourself, who obviously your career was cut way too short? I mean, drafted in 2010 is 2023. A guy of your talent, with no major injury, you still should be playing ball at the receiver position. So with that...
Well, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No problem.
I like to believe, like I said, conspiracy, I like to believe it's some of the things I've learned throughout my career. I learned branding. I learned branding way before a lot of guys, and I'll argue that with anybody. I created, throw up the X. I did something special with myself. I was the first athlete to, I'm going air saying this, the first athlete to do a collaboration, with a big brand like Jumpman. So, when I signed with the Jumpman, we collaborated. I wasn't endorsed, if that makes sense. That was two totally different things. And that's something that I stepped into, like I heard people say, well, everybody, not you, everybody. That's not the point. It's everybody got a fan base. Everybody got a brand. And I believe in ownership and I believe in IP. And I think, that's something, that athletes can take with them to give to their kids. It could just it all trickles down.
Obviously, that's something we all probably at some point fell short of. And a lot of guys don't put that as priority when they come to game. Like you just said a second ago, you solely focus on football. And a lot of things you learn later. And based on the dynamics of the locker room, we don't have those OGs Channing was talking about to sort of line us up. So we have to go through trials and tribulations to get there. Right. And hopefully a lot of us can survive that initial introduction so that we can get to that point so we can sustain, mature, and kind of ascend from there. Do you think the league itself is ready for that raw, uncut Dez Bryant style? Because not everybody can take that. You know, it's certain ways they try and paint this picture. You know, they want that message, but it's the delivery.
Facts.
Do you think you could give back to the game in a capacity that they would want or expect you to give back to?
Fred, I'm gonna be honest. I got to a point in my life to where, you know, even before I came here, I was like, man, how do I speak without sounding bitter? You get what I'm saying?
I think that's what a lot of people think. That's
Right.
part of the question, too.
Right. And it's my truth. You get what I'm saying? And I don't want to be hated for my truth. And, you know, like I said, it's a lot of these athletes deal with these things behind closed doors, and why not keep it raw? At the end of the day, we want to use these athletes. You know, we want to use them for good. But at the end of the day, I believe, you know, a lot of athletes go through, you know, depression and anxiety. I was one of them, you know, and, you know, we get it. We get athletes who lead this game and don't know what to do. I'm not gonna say any names, but commit suicide, get on drugs, they die, we don't know how it happened. You know, like, that's where a lot of my time is spent for the most part, and that's why I speak the way that I do. I think the league, should embrace that. You know, I am who I am. I can't change that. I really can't, and I don't want to. I want to be accepted for who I am. I don't think I'm a bad guy. I want the help. I want to help. It's like everybody is not the same, if that makes sense.
So I believe that you have valuable information to share because you've gone through adversity.
Correct.
Yes.
Right? Because you have made certain decisions that have put you in situations you've had to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, people who are on the outside, who've never been in your place, who don't come from where you come from, who haven't had the hardships that you've had, they look at your discretions as a reason why you can't give information, right? So you'll get the pushback of, well, Dez, you did this. Well, Dez, you did that. Why should you be speaking? Where I see it as, Dez should be speaking because he did that, because he's had to go through that. How do you deal with the people that like to bring up the mistakes you've made when you do want to be a voice or be a mentor or give back to the game?
To be honest, I'm not even here to be like, oh, they was, I'm right or wrong. But, I will say that, we all know how the media work. I'm still who I am. And, some of the things that I've been through, like, a lot of these guys understand. Like, and it's like, I just want to, like I said, I want to be me. Like, what the media say about me, what they've always said about me, I've known that that's not me. The fans, the people, if that was the case, we would have saw burnt jerseys, when I left. We would have saw all this. I ain't never saw a Dez Bryant jersey burnt, just keeping it real.
Yeah.
My heart lies in Dallas. I've been in these hoods. I've showed up in the hood, giving toys and, feeding families without really nobody noticing. No cameras, no nothing.
Hooping at the 24-hour fitness.
Hooping at the 24-hour fitness. I'm talking about straight off the practice field. I'm in there hooping. I done walked out, got some water. I'm looking at myself on TV. Walk back up in there, we run it again. You get what I'm saying? So, walking to Walmart. I tell you something crazy. I'm gonna get back to what you were saying. I'll never forget walking into Walmart, and it was around Christmas time, and a woman came through with a hard hat on and one of those little
Reflective vests?
One of those vests. She was running in. This was around the time I think the PlayStation 4s came out. And everybody was standing in line, and I was looking at this woman, and I was like, man, she here for her babies, because it brought me back to
Being a gent.
And I was like, you know what, man, hey, the whole line, hey, bring them out,
Right.
I got them all. You get what I'm saying? And that was just some real stuff, and for me, it's that stuff, that's the real stuff, and I ain't want no camera, I ain't want nothing around that. That's just, how I move faithfully. I never move with no security, none of that. Like, I'm really true man of the people, and, I just like to be me, with no strings attached. And, a lot of people can't deal with that.
And Dez, to tell that story, like, I never read that. If it was out, we'd have been and read that.
Yeah.
Never read that story. And I know a lot of people do that. Like Shaq came out when Shaq bought the Walmart up and all that stuff.
No.
What story on the other side do you hate? What story on the other side that people know and attach to your name that you be like, that's not me?
First off, I just felt like I was never given a fair chance to really, like, show the world, who I am. Even coming out of college, I was this, calling my mom a prostitute, already building a narrative. I feel like every time I say something, I try to defend myself, regardless of what story it is. I was just never given a chance to show the world who I really was. And that's where that came from. You get what I'm saying?
Negativity.
That's what, I'm barking back. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna get out who I am.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna let y'all tell me who I am. Shit, fuck y'all. Like, just being honest. And I'll never forget too one story. And they was telling me I was sagging in the mall. They knew I wasn't sagging. It was one of my partners. He was with me. He was sagging in the mall, but it's just the fact that that we was all together. So it's an affiliation thing. But it was how they wanted to paint that on me. And I was like, man, this shit here is crazy. It wasn't even all that serious. I'm talking about, you would have thought I stole something out of the store or something. Yeah. I'm talking about, I walked out, just hands up, man, I don't want no problem. Next thing you know, it became the biggest deal in the world. Dez Bryant in the mall sagging. I'm like, what?
You gotta realize too, there's a story I read about you was from 2010.
Yeah.
And that was the way the Dallas media introduced you to the world. It's a picture of yourself, it's a picture of your mother, outside, just, kicking, taking a picture, and it talks about how y'all have the same cheekbones, same smile, all those things. And then it goes through all the negative you had been through, right? The things you had to deal with your mother, whether it be sexual orientation, going to jail, and it was already negative.
Yep.
Another story I get to when, whatever went on between you and your mother and allegedly, like that word you love, allegedly happened, it was literally, the title was, a list of Dez Bryant's negative incidents since he's been a Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a story. It was 2011, such and such, he did this. 2012, such and such, he did this. I want to go back before that because in order for them to build a narrative, there had to be a place or a genesis where they felt like they could start.
Oh.
Tell me a little bit about you and your mother's relationship. Because I had my first baby at 19, and I feel like we grew up together.
Yeah.
To have a baby at 15, bro, when
13.
you could barely, 13? When you could barely take care of yourself. What was that relationship like between you two?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. My mom know I love her to death. But the relationship was kind of weird. Since I was a child, I feel like I never got the, I never got the mom, that I always wanted. No matter like, oh man, it get deep. But like I said, I never got the, the mom that I always wanted. And I think that's something that that bothered me, throughout my life a lot. But I also got it too. I also understood, all the things that my mom been through. So that kind of made me kind of mature early too. But the relationship with my mom, man. All I say is this right here, it's not what I always wanted, and it's something that I would never want a kid to ever experience, but, we can't control the cards that, we was dealt. That's why I really never, held anything against my mom. My mom damn near like my sister. You get what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It was just a weird situation, because my mom been through some rough stuff. My mom sold drugs, my granny sold drugs, like my uncles and all of those guys sold drugs, and it was just like, I don't know, man. It was just that relationship was never there. I used to beg for my mom all the time, and and it was never the way I always wanted. Every opportunity that I remember being a child. I remember my mom went to jail, and we went to go see her in the penitentiary. And I want to say they gave us about, I think it was like 3 to 4 hours. And when I had to leave there, man, that was one of the most craziest feelings I ever experienced, in my life. And even as a kid, I knew right then and there, I was like, man, something got to be different. I don't know what the change gonna be, but I'm gonna put that on me to figure something out. Like I had I had this mindset at a very early age, and I just wanted to, do better to build a better relationship with my mom, to give her that life that she ain't never experienced. Making it to the NFL, man, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. And, when you make money, I'm thinking, that's gonna solve all the problems.
Yep.
Man, that shit made all the problems worse.
Yeah.
times 10.
Times 10.
Yeah.
When you run down all the people in your life that you said sold drugs, we understand that those a lot of times are decisions of circumstance. Right? The place of hopelessness you find yourself in, you feel that's the only way out, even if that's not true. Right? That's what we've seen people turn to. But you're talking about getting money and hoping that money solves those problems. The issue is money was always the problem.
Yep.
Right? And so now when you get it and you realize that putting money on it doesn't change it, putting money on it doesn't heal hurt, doesn't heal trauma, you're at a loss because your entire life you've developed this thought that once I make it, it fixes everybody, including me. So when you get to the point where you realize it's not fixing it, what did you do then?
It got to a point where it was like, I had to start realizing, just the little structures that I gained and I developed over time, they never experienced nothing like that. So I couldn't even fault some of my family, for their actions, But, what I had to do was I had to kind of remove myself and kind of love them from a distance so they can kind of understand, like, hey, man, like, I don't know. I had to remove myself. I had to remove myself from some family members so they could, get a better understanding of who I am, what I'm about, and I'm not like that anymore. Like, I'm not from that. Like, I'm from that, but I have babies, I care. I'm not neglecting mine. And, I'm building better experiences, for them. I like to think my baby's smarter than me right now, just due to the things that I put them through. Just the entitlement from the family, I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it anymore. Like I said, it was causing problems. I feel like that's where a lot of my problems, came from, was trying to, be a part of my family, help my family, and put them in a better position.
You don't ever want to feel like you're turning your back on your people.
Facts.
And that's people that, come up with certain circumstances or certain demographics. Naturally, that's just a natural reaction, right? And I think a big problem with sports, all professional sports, is that when you involve the media, they don't give the media a pamphlet to say, look, this is the background on Dez Bryant, Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder, Fred Taylor. They don't say these are.
I think the narrative is. I really think that the narrative is purposely built to destroy.
No, but I'm trying to go somewhere else because I want to talk about, the trauma, upbringing, all those different things that aren't always seen in the forefront because people see the success or the ability or talent that you are and what you can do on the field. Not until shit hits the fan, they see everything that was buried, right?
Yeah.
And whatever those experiences are. You were raised by a kid.
Right.
13, your mother was a child.
Yep.
My mom had me at 17. You just said your mom is like your sister. My mom never felt like, my mom is my mom, don't get me wrong, but she never felt like a mom. My grandmother was that role. She endured that role. So my mom and I, we developed sort of a brother-sister relationship, and we super tight now. And, for NFL businesses, whether it's basketball, they don't give that information to the media. The media, all they want you to do is perform. While you're out there, they don't care about everything else that's going on in your life unless you get into some shit. Whatever those red flags are, they're gonna right away, and that's the story. They're not gonna say, well, Dez Bryant come from this, and maybe this is part of the reason he's been this way. They're not psychologists or psychiatrists. They don't wanna do that deep dive. Whatever it was you were experiencing, whether lashing out at the media, some locker room moments, this and that, everybody has an opportunity to mature and grow.
Facts.
And once you get in that spot or in that position, though, you have to be accountable.
But it's
and
hard
also
to,
make
but it's,
sure
but it's hard
that
to
you
mature.
understand the position you're in.
Facts. It's hard to mature and grow when you're not given the opportunity. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I was
You
always...
have to give yourself the opportunity.
That's facts. But I know for me, that's all, I always was looking for that. And I just kind of felt like, I was never blessed with that opportunity. I'm just being honest. Like, I was doing a lot of things on my own. I was building a lot of things on my own.
That's pressure.
But the thing about it was, like, I was doing it right. Like that's what I mean, like, and what I mean by, like, the opportunity for help, it's like if I express that this is going on and this is going on and I'm not getting the proper help, that's, I'm not getting the opportunity to better myself.
Were you expressing that within the organization?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you consider proper help, though?
I mean, if I'm being honest with you, Fred, and I'm telling you, hey, man, I'm dealing with this, but you already got it made up in your mind, is this because you took somebody else's word for it, that's not giving an opportunity.
So when you go to the organization, when you go to the Dallas Cowboys and you say, these are the things that I'm dealing with, what is their response to you?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, it's all love, for Jerry, Steven, those guys. Like I said, as I was driving here, trying my best not to come off bitter. I had people going to my mailbox, stealing my mail. You get what I'm saying? That was with Jerry. You get what I'm saying? That's supposed to been helping me. You get what I'm saying? Like, building up these stories. What the fuck is this Walmart tape? You get what I'm saying? Where is it at? I remember getting drafted, Jerry telling me, hey, you do everything right, we're gonna sit back at the table, renegotiate your contract. I never got that opportunity because I felt like it was a case built against me. That's how I was honestly feeling. Like in this little rule book thing, talking about the strip club. Man, I hate the strip club, I'm gonna be honest. Ask any stripper in Dallas, Dez Bryant ain't never spent it. I'm not saying I never been, but what I'm saying is it wasn't a faithful thing. That wasn't my style. I'm not here to call anybody out because I ain't putting no names out, but it was guys up in there faithfully. The most the stripper ever got from me was a chicken wing and a nice conversation.
There's,
But I want to talk about these rules.
Yeah, okay.
And when I see the world seeing this, like, that's what I mean. Like, hey, man, I'm trying to tell you who I am, but you don't want to hear me. It's already made up. So it kind of made me feel like nobody, hey, y'all already got y'all mind made up. So, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna show you ain't this. I'm gonna show you ain't that. I'm gonna do things my way. And that's kind of what I did. Like, think about it. Every time I was on the sideline, I kind of felt like people like wanted to be like, oh, look at him. Now he talking bad to his teammates, this and this and this. I'll never forget the Detroit Lions game when Calvin went crazy. Let me even rewind just a tad bit. The week of that game. Now, I'll never forget, I ain't gonna say his name neither, but it was our PR guy. He was like, hey, Dez, you need to talk to the media. This Marshawn before Marshawn. Nah, I don't want to talk to the media. Every time I speak, y'all spin my narrative, and y'all create this narrative, and I don't like that. Like, well, you're gonna get fined. You're gonna keep getting fined. I was already getting fined before that for not talking to the media. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna talk. It was some radio station in Detroit. And I'll never forget, make a long story short, he was like, do you think you better than Calvin Johnson? I was like, nah, I think he the best at what he do, and I think I'm the best at what I do. I said, I grew up watching Calvin Johnson highlights, one of my favorite receivers in the world. Man, so the dude gonna say, so you better than him? I said, I didn't say that. I said, he the best at what he do, and I'm the best at what I do. I don't know how that's saying it, and I'm better than him. I'm talking about they made this big old story. They made this huge story. And I'm talking about it got underneath my skin, RC. I'm talking about I was hot. When I tell you I was hot, because like I love Calvin. And first off, I don't want Calvin thinking that
You disrespecting him.
I'm disrespecting him. Nate B fell for the trap. I'm like, damn, I respect you too, Nate. Like, this is not what this is supposed to be.
Right.
We get into the game, and I'll never forget, I'm one-on-one a lot. You know, and I had my moments where I was one-on-one a lot. And me and Tony, I'm talking about that back shoulder fade, unstoppable.
Yes, it
and
was.
I mean that with a passion.
Yes, it
the way we
was.
practiced, the way we worked on that, we wanted it to be perfection. And I felt like we wasn't doing it enough. And I would tell Tony, like, hey, Tony, we're the best at this. They can't stop us. I'm telling you, put it there, I'm getting it. I gotta say that. you know, all of the media, they came, they surrounded me. And all they wanted to talk about was me on the sideline.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point to where I was like, I know there's mics everywhere around this field. Let's listen to the audio. If I'm saying anything, I'm talking about all of the media destroying me, y'all. They are destroying me. So let's just go listen to the audio. Listen to it. Shit, the audio come out. You had some reporters, I can't think of the name, apologize, and the whole narrative changed. And I was like, man, it was from the grace of God. I was like, just because everything was already falling negative on me. Like I said, anything I say, it was being used against me. Like, people don't even understand it. I'm out here on the field, I'm throwing up the X, but behind closed doors, I'm not even feeling good.
Wow.
Like, I'm not even me. You get what I'm saying? I'm sheltering myself into my house. Don't want to come outside, don't want to do nothing. I just want to go to practice, just leave me alone. And I just want to talk to my team.
That's that pressure I'm talking about. Fans, people don't
They
see it
don't
all
care.
the time.
But bro, what's the narrative that you hate the most about that? Like, even with that game or whatever, like, what have you been painted as that still gets you? Bro, you old as fuck, nigga. You been retired for what? 10 years? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn, you still holding on to that. But what really gets to you right now?
Chad, he played in 2020.
4 years, 5 years. We retired 10 years, so 5 years. Does that shit still get to you?
Right now, at this moment, what gets to me is not having the opportunity to really be involved with the athletes the way I want to be. I'm talking about, like, far as the NFL, the NFLPA, I want that opportunity. You know, it's a lot of things I learned along the way that what we talked about earlier that I would like to, to help the athletes with. Really far on, on the business side, far as branding and, things like that. Every day we're gonna find a superstar, right? And it's like, I wanna be right there, to help with those things. Like, we get 4th rounders, 5th rounders, 6th rounders end up being Hall of Famers, right?
Yep.
Like, for example, Brock Purdy. Like, I would have loved to, been a part of his brand or just gave him, any type of light on, how he could have capitalized on his moment. Like, I feel like nobody did that better than me. And, I just see the NFL, collabing with all these people who don't really understand the athlete, and, I think that's what bothers me the most right now.
I have 2 questions I want to ask you, because these are moments that stick out to me about you. Can you take me back to draft day?
Oh, yeah.
When the Dallas Cowboys moved back up into the first round. What was it, 24? The 24th overall
24,
pick?
it was the
Get to 24th overall pick. Demaryius Thomas is already off of the board. God rest his soul. Is already off of the board, and that phone rings, and it's the Dallas Cowboys. Take me back to that moment, because for you, coming up the way you came up, dealing with some of the things you had to go through to get there, and being suspended in your last year, right? Because you go way before that, if not, right? When you get that call, man, I just remember your face. I remember you fighting back tears. I remember the hug. Just take us back to when you got that opportunity.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. First off, let's start off with Josh McDaniels.
Mm-hmm.
Josh McDaniels. I want to say he was the coach of the Broncos around that time. And I remember visiting the Broncos, and he told me that they were gonna draft me. Told me this, right? I'm talking about, I just knew I was finna be a Denver Bronco. He didn't draft me.
They drafted Demaryius.
They drafted Demaryius.
Mm-hmm.
I remember texting his ass. I was like, I promise you I'm gonna make sure this is the worst thing you ever did in your career, passing up on me.
Well, he coached the Raiders too, so no, it wasn't the worst.
He made a lot of bad decisions.
Yeah. But that moment, I remember going to visit the Cowboys, and I never forget, Jerry was like, hey, let me see your hands real quick. Jerry put his hand up against mine, and I put mine up against his. It was like, damn. Some big old hands, and he was like,
I used to do that at a nightclub. with the girls.
Crazy.
But there's difference. Never mind, my bad. You keep going.
Nah, he was like, I'm gonna draft you. He said, I get the opportunity to get you, I'm gonna get you. He said, I'm serious. I said, I get it, I'm gonna get you. That's how he was doing. I was like, shit, that's cool. I said, if I get drafted by the Cowboys, forget everything else. I just know I'm not going to the Cowboys. I know it's impossible. I'm from Texas and, being in Texas, it's finna go crazy. Yeah, so, man, me getting that call, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, I see my heart drop. And I'm mad at Belichick, too. I'm mad at Belichick, and I'm mad at, I want to be mad at Brady, but I can't. Yeah, I'm not mad.
You know how, now we talking about the people.
Oh, I love, hold on, time out, but I love Belichick. I do, I love him, by the way. I'm just saying,
for that moment.
Yeah, for that moment.
I know.
Oh, and the Ravens said that they was gonna draft me too, but I felt like the Ravens was gonna draft me. What they did was the Cowboys and the Cowboys and the Cowboys and the Patriots swapped. They swapped picks, and that's how the Cowboys draft me. Yeah, and then I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. Like, bruh, I was like, this is unreal. I was like, I can't believe it.
So I want to fast forward a little bit. This is a moment that I know a ton about because it was my former team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mm-hmm. Your father passes. You find out when you get to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Take me through first, the moment you and Dak shared. Dak had, who had lost his mom, and then relating to you and losing your father, knowing you had to go play a game the next day.
My daddy, he was already like, I want to say it was like a year or two. Like, he was going through complications that he was going through, and that was affecting me. I'm talking about bad, and I was just trying to, keep my cool or whatever. I was like, man, I'm about to lose my daddy. And I was like, trying to keep myself cool. I remember I had a Jumpman photo shoot, and I'm getting these phone calls, and it was like, man, I can't go to this shoot. Like, my daddy is like, man, I don't know, like, I'm about to lose my mind. And the guys, the reps over there, they getting upset with me. I'm being transparent with them. I was like, man, fuck y'all. Like, we talking about my daddy. It would always weigh on me, because I was like, man, ain't no telling, when my daddy about to go. But, when you get that feeling, you getting that feeling. And I guess what even bothered me, I'll never forget, like, when I got drafted and I felt like I had myself together. I never forget, going to see my daddy, back in my hometown. I was like, hey, everything good. Now the Cowboys did help me with this. They was willing to help me with this. I was like, hey, I was telling my daddy, I was like, hey, they gonna help. We're gonna find the best doctors out here, and you good. Man, but daddy broke my heart. He turned me down. Wow. He turned me down. And that was just because of things that we've been through, as a kid, and I understood why he did that. He was like, nah, son, I just would ask you to do one thing, take care of your brothers. Wow. That's all he asked me. I was like, Dad, you just gonna turn me down like that? Like, I'm talking about broke out in tears. Like, I'm like, that's what we did. This is what I did it for. I was still paying for, like, all this medicine that he need, and all that stuff, but,
He rejected the help?
Yeah, he rejected it. He rejected it. I kind of feel like it was a situation, man, y'all gonna make me get too real.
Do you think he felt like he didn't? Do you think he felt like he didn't deserve it?
I don't know. My daddy was one of the best things. I think he's the strongest man that ever walked this earth. And I mean that with a passion. I think he felt like he let us down. And I never felt that way. Yeah. I really understood, his situations. I'm telling you, when I was very, very young, I was like, my daddy doing the best that he can. It's him by himself, and it's 6 of us in the house. You get what I'm saying? Mama in jail, and the other kids, mama out doing what they doing. You get what I'm saying? And it's just him. Nah, I ain't gonna say this. It's real crazy, but I will say this right here. I say this, I'll never forget, because I don't want to speak on her. I feel like she don't deserve that. She don't deserve to be spoke on, and you ain't worth it. You know what you did. you know, and we're gonna leave you where you at, you know, and you know how you treated us, you know how you treated his kids. She gonna know when I say that, she know who I'm talking about. But just the way we was treated, you know, as youngins, me and my brothers and sisters, it wasn't right. And I remember my sister getting kicked out of the house when she was 16. She had a baby, just on, and never got the opportunity to graduate. You know, same thing happened to my brother. My brother was a great athlete, never got the opportunity to graduate. You know, it was like it was a
Cycle.
it was a cycle. I'm up next. You get what I'm saying? Like I never forget it. I went weeks without eating in the house. Like,
Damn.
weeks because I just knew, you know, it wasn't right. You know, it was, you know. I know I'm giving bits and pieces, but it's for a reason. And I never forget, like, I just felt like, you know, it wasn't loved, and I already saw it coming, you know, if that makes sense. I knew I was up next. I'm talking about, this is my senior year in high school. I'm going crazy, y'all, see. We just got done playing Longview, Texas. You know, shout out to East Texas, Longview, Texas on TV. And I never was the party type, you know, not the drug type. You know, I went to a church lock-in, you know, after this game. And I remember asking my daddy before the game, I was like, hey, after the game, can I go to this church lock-in? He was like, cool, fine, or whatever. And by the way, they wasn't showing up to none of my games. My daddy, you know, my stepmom, my mom. Like, my mom, she came to a few, but they wasn't even coming to my games, you know? I got used to it.
How badly did you want them to come to your games? Though?
Bad. It was extremely bad.
Did you tell them? Did you?
Absolutely. It was always, you know, some type of excuse. But I gotta tell you about this story, RC. Like, I got, you know, I remember after the game, I go ham. 2 touchdowns. We done went off on Longview on national TV. And I remember going to a church lock-in after, and when I came back home, my daddy, his wife, like I said, I don't want to mention her name, she said, I gotta leave. No reason. Still to this day, I don't know the reason. I gotta leave, I gotta get out. And I'll never forget, I was telling my daddy, I was like, man, my daddy paid for everything in here. Like, Daddy, you gonna let her talk to me? You gonna let her talk to me like this? And I started bringing back up my brother and my sister. And I was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'm out, just like that. And, you know, my girlfriend at the time, like, they let me, you know, her aunt let me, you know, stay with them, and I got to finish school, you know, over there, you know. So it was that cycle, you know. If I can't go to school, if I can't do this, or I ain't gonna graduate, you know, or you know, some things like that. I'm not gonna be able to go to college or whatever. And I felt like that's what was she wanted to play out for me. And just being honest with you, man, it was a lot of hate for unnecessary reasons. And
So how did you not end up like your sister or not end up
different.
like your brother? What was it about you? How did you deal with her differently, your father differently, or whatever it was that allowed you to get to the point that you wanted to get to, which was the NFL?
Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, dog. I just felt like, I don't know, as the man upstairs. Like, I felt different, you know, I moved different. You know, I always been curious. I want better. I always wanted better. I was sitting on the pavement with my brother. I was like, man, we poor as shit. I'm like, something gonna change one of these days. I don't care. 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, I'm telling you something gonna change. I'm gonna drive in this quarter set with the nicest car ever. I did that too, though. I really did that. Like, that's no bullshit. Like I said, it was a lot of jealous, man. Oh man, y'all.
Like when you go through all of that and you have that feeling towards your father's wife, but you think that your dad's the strongest man in the world,
Yeah.
and you lose him.
Yeah.
And on the back of losing him, you go for about 120, 50-yard touchdown against my team, but it's okay. What was it like to be able to honor your father? After the game, you said it was special. Like we all, at least myself, when everything was going crazy in life or when things weren't going right, that was always pure to me, the football field. So to get an opportunity to go represent your father on the football field the day after he died, what did it feel like to play that way?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I didn't play that game, I was gonna go do something stupid. I know that for a fact. Everything that I had been through, dealing with, you know, my mom, wife, and some of the things I heard her tell my daddy, you know, that never left my soul, never left my mind. And I'm gonna play this game. I know this is what my daddy would have wanted me to do, and I'm just gonna dedicate this game, you know, to him. Like I said, you know, like sometimes, you know, bro, like I think about my daddy all the time, you know, like I said, he the realest. Be honest, it's a wild word. You know, my daddy, you know, wore Jerry, and it was just like, you know, I miss him. And
The day you turned into the patriarch when your father died, and now you got money, you talking about what you did. Now you have to tote that crown. You have to grab that, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Grab that baton. Did you know it? And how did you deal with that when you became the patriarch of the family?
I was already toting it. My family dysfunctional as fuck. You get what I'm saying? Like, it was really more so like, I'm gonna make sure mine's straight. You know, they can't witness none of this. They different. They ain't never gonna experience anything daddy ever had to experience. You get what I'm saying? And shoot, like, man.
How do you commit to breaking that cycle to ensure, you know, your kids don't have to follow in those same footsteps? Like, what are the steps? What do you do?
Let me read something to you real quick. It mean a lot to me. Man, I ain't trying to cry, but let me read something. It's been on my phone for about, since I met y'all, it's probably been like 6 years, you know. It say, break generational curses. Quit yelling at your kids before they go to bed and expect them to sleep well. Quit yelling at your kids in the morning right after they wake up before school and expect them to have a good day. You set the tone for your children. You set the tone for your voice that they will always remember in their heads. You become their inner voice. Don't be their inner critic. Speak life, speak love, speak bravery, kindness and hope. Speak wisdom and truth. Most of all, listen to your children. I never had none of that. I get that to mine. And that's my number one priority. I follow that. That's how I break it. And, you know, so when I do it, I live it. I live it. You know, that narrative shit. That's what they never wanted to pick
Give me
up.
a second, bro.
Bro. 42 for real.
Damn, dog.
You know, it's like, I'm do it all in fashion, style. You get what I'm saying? Confidence. You know, and that's what I'm offering. You know, I feel like that's what was misunderstood. You know, so.
I mean, we all have kids, man, and like, I couldn't imagine my children having to tell this story. Just knowing how much I love them, knowing how much they mean to me. You know, when it started and you were talking about what you had to offer the NFL, I think this is what they needed to see more so than reading your tweets in defense of athletes.
Right.
There's a real pain, there's a real hurt, but there's also a real perseverance. And when you brought up how you wanted to be and what you have been to your kids, it made me think about your touchdown at the Ravens. When you said your daughter encouraged you to play. And you couldn't wait to FaceTime her, you dedicated that game ball to her. How does that moment bring you full circle from everything you dealt with as a child to being the sort of father who listens, like you said, who listens to his children, and you're able to share that moment with him?
I mean, that moment was, that moment was extremely special. I can tell you exactly, you know, what was going down. I was just chilling one day, and my daughter was like, I was working out. I would work out from here and there, and my daughter was like, "Daddy, I want to see you on TV again. I want you to see you play football." She don't really understand that at the time. I want to see you again. My boy, Junior, and he was like, "Daddy, I want to see you too." But it was really my baby girl. I said, "You know what? All right, bet. I'm gonna get busy. We're gonna see what I can do." You know, so I got the training. I'm talking about I got the working out. It turned into a therapy session for me. Like, whenever, when I'm in between them lines, I'm a totally different guy. I was just grind. I just grind, faithfully. And I was calling my agent. I was like, "Hey, I want to get back out there." And Eric DeCosta, I'll give a huge shout out to you. Coach Harbaugh, I'll give a huge shout out to you guys. I remember when I first went out there to see if I can give it a go, told me I need to get back, I need to get in shape just a tad bit more. It was like, "We see that you still got the ability." I'm like, "All right, cool, bet. That's all I need to hear. If you're gonna give me another shot, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna work my ass off." When I did that again, and I never forget, they gave me that second opportunity to come out there and train and work out. They told me they was gonna, sign me to the practice squad. I remember crying, and I remember telling my daughter, like, "Hey, you better watch your daddy." And I see the best feelings, and then just getting the opportunity to get in the game. I wasn't really expecting that. I was just like, I just wanted to be there in the locker room and support. Yeah. Like, I wasn't trying to take anybody's spot. It was really, you could ask any of them guys. I just wanted to be there and give the game. I just wanted to give a game and show guys how to be professionals or whatever the case might be. I just went to work every day. I just practiced, I showed love, and never forget, Coach Harbaugh, we're gonna bring you up.
But what was it like going from a number one receiver on America's team to going to that guy?
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't have no hate. I ain't have none of that in my heart. And that was another reason why I went to, why I wanted to play football again. It was because I just wanted to just be in the locker room, with the guys and just help any type of way that I can. And I kind of feel like I did. I'll never forget Marquise Brown. He said, "As long as I've been in the NFL, this short period of time you've been here," it was something along those lines, this is the most I learned. So when he told me that and, he gave me credit for that, that made me feel so good because that was my real reason of wanting to be there. Like, and when I got there, like, I just wanted to show guys how to be a vet, how to practice, because I practice hard. Like, hey, when it's a rep, we finna take advantage of this rep.
Right.
And I saw guys, they was following that plan, and that's all I cared about. I left a mark. That's what it was, so I appreciate them guys for giving me that opportunity.
Our partners over at DraftKings have a deal for you. Any new customer signing up right now on DraftKings, you make a $5 bet, you get $200 instantly in bonus bets, but only if you use the promo code PIVOT. What are you going to spend those $200 on? You're going to just combine bets, whether it's overs, unders, wins, losses in the same game parlay, and y'all know how much Channing loves those. Make multiple bets and only extend your money. If sports betting is not in your area, you can sign up for DraftKings Daily Fantasy. There's still a way for you to get involved. Now remember, get out your mobile devices, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Any new customer signing up with the promo code PIVOT, you make a $5 bet, instantly get $200 in bonus bets.
You said you left Mark.
Yeah.
You're gonna forever be a Dallas Cowboy.
Oh, facts.
You're one of the founders of the '88 Club, and here we have CeeDee. He went and just broke all the records this year.
Dumb.
Right. A lot of great players though that have worn that '88. How was your heart here in Dallas?
Man, first and foremost, whenever CeeDee got drafted, I reached out to CeeDee and I was like, anything you need, I got you. I understand this a lot more than, I understand the game. I understand the branding, and that's kind of where I wanted to go with it when it came to CeeDee. I was like, man, I want you to take advantage of all these moments. It's best to get it now while you're young. You get what I'm saying? Let's not wait. This is a moment, 88 Club. And we finally done bought into it. And, you know, I embraced that, you know, faithfully. The support, the love that I have for Irv, Drew, Pearson, especially him. I think CeeDee gonna go down as the best one, if you ask me.
The game has changed. He'll get more opportunities.
CeeDee sweeter than him.
He wants
They
to
two
start
different
some
guys.
shit.
Oh, yeah.
Is CeeDee sweeter than you?
Hey, we all different. We
I'm
all
just saying,
different.
you broke record, bro. Is CeeDee sweeter than you?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's, you know, I think it's different. You know, I think Pearson different than Drew. I think I'm different than Irvin. I think I'm different than CeeDee. I just think that the game has evolved. Like Coach Garrett, let me tell you something, man. Don't even get me started. But I'll say his name.
Yeah.
Get me started. You know. Like, he feel like he never had my back. I feel like he never supported me. I feel like I was only in Dallas because of Jerry. You know, I never forget going into the office trying to express to him who I was. He never gave me an opportunity to be myself. He one of those guys, and yeah, I said it, Mr. Clapper. You know, but
So this is the question. The interview's been so good, and you've been bearing your soul. So I was like, I don't want to. How much different is your life and career if they don't overturn Dez caught it?
That year, I was against all odds. That people talk about that catch. It wasn't even about the catch. It's about what I was defeating before the catch. I was in my contract year, and I never forget. You know, I fired everybody. This is when I'm coming into myself. I fired everybody. My agent, marketing. I'm talking about. Shane, I got these boys the fuck. I almost said something. Got them the fuck up out of it. I got them the fuck up out of it because they meant me no good. You know, I felt like they was all in cahoots trying to, you know, keep me down. But that's a whole nother story too. We can have a part 2 about all this shit. But Jerry, he invited me to, he wanted to meet with me. We went and met at the stadium. And we were talking about the contract. You know, he tried to get me to sign a contract I ain't like. I thought it was some bullshit. And I was like, I ain't this dumb. 10 years for $100 million, $20 million guaranteed, I'm not that dumb. First off, I know I just played 5 years, so I know I'm not going to play another 10. I'm not expecting to play another 10. So it's like $20 million guaranteed. I'm seeing what's going on. So it's like, nah, I'm scoring at will. So it's like, nobody getting in the end zone the way I'm getting in the end zone. So, you know, it's like, I ain't taking that shit.
They're going to cut your ass in year 2.
So look, check this out. So, you know, we going through it. We going through the motion or whatever. You know, I'm listening to him, you know, and I kind of interrupted him a little bit. I stood up and I was like, hey, Mr. Jones, you see that field down there? I say, you think you can, you think you can cover me? He said, nah, you'll destroy me. And I said, so what makes you think that I can sit here and negotiate a contract with you? Just like that. And then right after that, he got talking about, you know, trades and things like that. I remember walking out there, motherfucker said, I'd take my chance. Trade me. Trade me. I just kept Redhead job. I kept Romo job. That's how I'm feeling. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Like, I was feeling that way. And Witten job, I kept that job. I saved y'all face. Y'all finna start putting respect on my name. Like, that's kind of how I felt. Even doing all of that, I was like, man, what the hell I'm about to do? I ain't got no agent, I ain't got nothing. I was working out at Valley Ranch, I get a call. Hov want to meet me, the Roc Nation. Hov want to meet me. Hov fly me to New York. You know, the next day I'm on a call, next day I'm in New York. And I'll never forget, we at the Barclays Center. He getting ready for his show. And I didn't even know he had a show. But then people was like, I'm like, damn, I'm finna meet. All these people out here, Jay got a show, and I'm finna get ready to meet Jay. So I'm walking in there, you know. I ain't lying to y'all, dog. Like, the door open. I see Beyonce over there. I see Kelly Rowland over there. Blue over there in the corner. She got a big guy over there around him. Emery over there, he just got out of jail. Jay over here sitting at the table. You got OG1 over here. I'm like, oh, man. Boss is up in this motherfucker. Like, I'm talking about one of my partners gonna tell me, man, my knees down there buckled. I'm like, look, I'm over here talking, hey, bro, chill, bro. Like, so, but yeah, like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. By the time I got to my seat, all that old starstruck shit went out the window. You know, and I just kept it real with him. I was like, man, I don't really know much. I want to be able to take care of my family. I need help, you know, and one thing I can say about Hov, you know, he put the right people around me, and that's why I always got love for him. That's why I always, you know, show love, you know, for Roc and all that stuff, because I've been around these other agencies. Yeah, a lot of them cool and whatever the case might be, but I know what they done for me. You get what I'm saying? And Hov, to me, he a stand-up guy. You know, he ain't have to do none of that. I end up going with Roc. Or I signed with Roc, but my contract didn't come until after the season. So let me get back to that part. So let me go back through all of the bullshit that I went through in 2014 that I feel like that was way much bigger than the catch, what people don't really know about. Like, I never forget the London game. We go to London. I don't know if y'all remember that. I never said this to nobody, but I'm not making this up. This is the truth. I got drunk every single night I was there. Why? Because I was depressed, you know, and I was like, I can't win, you know, all this bad stuff. Somebody said I locked my kid in the car. I'm like, what? When the fuck did I do that? When did I lock my kid in the car? I'm gonna tell you what's even more crazy, right? So y'all know this. When it's time to go, it's 2 buses, right? It's 2 buses. They knock on the door. Hey, boom, 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 boom. Like, you get on the first bus or you getting on the second bus. You know, you got people that go around to check. These motherfuckers left me.
At the hotel?
Dez, it's actually your job to
Oh,
be on the bus.
no. Hear me out. But no, we had people, you know, that would knock on the door. And guess what? And you know, when you get on the bus, we checking it off. So if somebody ain't here, we gonna make a call.
Right.
So, all right, so I'm looking at my schedule. I feel like I'm over-prepared, like I'm ready to go. Man, tell me why they left me. Ain't nobody hit me up or nothing. Like, real talk. Hear me out, just hear me out.
You the only motherfucker at the hotel still.
The only motherfucker, one of the best players on the team.
That's the
at
crazy
the hotel.
part. That's the crazy part, though. Because you got dudes, I'm sure you ride on the same bus every away game.
Yeah.
From the hotel to the,
Facts.
well, it's bus 1 or 2.
Facts.
In the same area, your boys gonna hold your seat down. Why they didn't hit you?
Man, it wasn't them. I ain't blaming it on them. I'm blaming it on the organization.
I'm gonna call you.
It was contract.
I'm gonna call RC.
It's conspiracy.
I'm gonna tell the old boy, I'm gonna say, Skip, the security, we can't leave yet. RC ain't on the bus. Chan ain't on the bus. He sit right here every week.
Facts.
I know you don't want to throw your dogs, but they gotta hit you, Dad.
Man.
They gotta hit you.
I got a story about all that too.
We ain't gotta get into it, but they gotta hit you.
But didn't have no bad product.
Did you get a taxi to the game? A train?
Nah. I'm on the bus where it's just, you know, I want to say the people, I don't know, all the rich people.
Like the sponsors.
Yeah, the
fans.
sponsors. Nah, them people. I'm on bus with them. I'm looking at NFL Network. Dez Bryant, he locked his son in the car. I'm like, this is going on
Real time.
but real time before the game. And I'm not understanding, you know, what is happening. But this is during my contract year. So now I get to the stadium. I bullshit y'all not. Man, I see all them cameras outside. My heart dropped. I said, oh, shit. I said, oh, shit. Real talk. Bruh, they ain't give a damn. Clarence over there smoking a cigarette. Like, I'm like, damn, y'all ain't finna report me? Y'all ain't finna report none of this? So I walk up in there. I'm hot, though. When I tell you I'm high, I went the fuck off. I'm yelling at Coach Garrett. I'm yelling at Jim. I'm getting my ankle taped. Jerry come over there. He put his hand on me. I knock his hand out for me. Like, man, y'all left me. Like, man, what's going on? Like, it's some bullshit. Roc, they calling me, telling me to calm down. The word and got back somehow, some way. I'm like, man, hell nah. So, and then I'm mad because what I just saw on TV, and it's right before a game. Man, I bullshit you not, man. We don't we about to get ready to lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They really sorry at this time. You know, this is you know,
They always been sorry.
we supposed to wipe them out, right? So we finna lose to them. I don't touch the ball in the first quarter. That's how I knew JG had something against me. I don't touch the ball in the first quarter. I'm hot, right? I'm hot. This when I start, you know, I'm really barking back at the organization and everybody. All right, second quarter. I know you motherfuckers gotta throw me this ball. They running me on these bullshit ass routes, right? So I run a drag across the field. I'm running across the field doing Romo like this. Give me the ball. I'm finna take this motherfucking scope. He threw me the ball. I run behind the line of scrimmage. Get that bitch, turn it up. House call. Hit him with the Not to the fans, just to the organization. Gonna pay me my money. So look, check this out. This all happening in the second quarter. So, shit, we get the ball again. Romo called a play. I supposed to have a stop route. I said, hey, if he press, I'm going vertical. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not running no stop route. Romo trying to tell me to run a stop route. I ain't running. I'm telling you I'm not running this stop route if he pressed me. Guess what he do? Mr. Badass wanted to press me. Grabbed him by the arm, yanked him down. Romo then threw it to me. I'm talking about him running back in the end zone, got him stiff arming him like this right here. Guess what I do? Flick the ball back. Everybody, the organization, JG, they all knew who that was for. They knew who that shit was for. I ain't see that ball no more after that. I ain't see that ball no more after that.
Well, how the hell you get to the catch then?
I mean, all right, so check this out. Like, it was just, it got to a point to where it was like, all this negative shit was coming out about me, honestly. Like, it was nonstop, weekly, nonstop. And I really had to just, like, turn it off. I had to go numb. It was like, man, I ain't dealing with this shit, man. I'm gonna do things my way. Like, I feel like, you know, I'm want to destroy me because I ain't following rules that don't fit who I am. And to me, I just feel like all of the things that I overcame and I don't know, that to me, that I don't know. I just feel like to me that was overcoming them odds and getting through that season, performing the way that I performed, you know, outweighed that catch. Like I feel like, even though I feel like it was a catch, like obviously, I just feel like what I've been through, what I went through that entire season, and it's more than what I'm saying, I feel like that outweighed that.
So I have a question. With all of those feelings, you know, you have intimated or hinted towards feeling that players around the locker room and people within the building were a reason why you were eventually released. Do you still feel that way?
Oh, absolutely. Some players. So, oh man, the year I got released, 17, right? 17.
It was the year, it was 18s, but 17 was the last season.
My last season, right. Oh man, I can't believe I'm telling this story. I'm giving it to you guys. I give y'all this. It was, you remember when Donald Trump had said he calls us sons of bitches? That was the third week of the season. I'll never forget I'm coming in the locker room. I'm down there late. You know, we gotta be sitting out here at 7:30. I walk up in the motherfucking 7:20. I remember, I ain't gonna say his name, but a player, he came and was like, man, you see this shit Donald Trump was saying right here? You know, I go, you know, I'm talking about everybody around my locker. like, you see this? And I was like, I'm looking at it a little bit. Coach Garrett, I'm gonna keep saying his name. Coach Garrett, he was like, boys, it's time to get to the meetings. So I don't get an opportunity to really, you know, look at it and digest it the way I wanted to. So, all right, so we sitting up in there, you know, Coach Dooley, the first thing that he say was, yeah, I know you guys saw, you know, what Donald Trump and said this, and, you know, was asking for opinions. I really can't give an opinion because I really don't know nothing. You know, I see some certain guys, you know, my dog over there, Dub, he like, shit, he almost want to walk up out this hole, you know? So, and I kind of get it. So, all right, so this when it really got weird. So it's time to go to practice. So we go to practice. The PR guy, you know, we do all the media stuff after practice. He walking back and forth. back and forth on the practice field, back and forth on the practice field. And I'm like, man, what the fuck is really going on? Like, this shit really that serious? Really that serious? So I remember after practice, you know, because now I'm in practice, but I'm hearing guys talk about it. I still ain't saw the video yet, but I'm hearing guys talk about it. They really bothered. So I never forget after practice, we called practice up, and coach was like, I'm sure you guys, you know, aware of, you know, what our president has said or blase, blase, blase. He went into kind of explaining, like, he tried to give us some type of example of some type of I don't know, some shit about him at Princeton. And I remember he kept talking, and I respectfully interrupted him. And I was like, hey, coach, do you understand? Steady trying to go on and on. I said, coach, I don't mean no disrespect, but do you understand? I said, some of us like to go back home. I said, and I learned this through the players, you know, I'm listening to, you know, what they saying in practice. I said, y'all went and talked. Y'all went and talked and spoke on our behalf, saying that we wasn't gonna take no knee. I say, like, and that's when I got saying, like, a lot of us like to go back home. Like, we have to deal with that stuff. Like, oh, we coons and we this and we that, and like, y'all ain't give us the opportunity to even, you know, voice our opinion. Y'all already spoke for us. So I never forget, you know, I said that, and I felt like that's when shit really broke. Coach Garrett was like, do anybody have anything to say? It was so quiet, you could hear a pin drop. Nobody said nothing. So, and still at this time, we break and we getting ready to go in the locker room, I ain't really thinking too much of it. So as I'm walking to the locker room, I got guys coming to tap me on my shoulder, talking about, man, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for saying something. But in my brain, I'm like, man, these niggas done left me out to dry.
Appreciate you.
That's where my mind took me, right then and there. I ain't really too much, you know, I snapped back into it, and, you know, I'm just thinking about everything, and I'm like, damn, you know? I'm like, man, what the fuck is really going on? You know, so I go look at the video. First thing I said, nah, this ain't cool, right? This motherfucker up here just saying anything he want. You know, and plus I don't judge, you know, people who they are. But anyway, I was just standing up for my guys, to be honest. So, and by the way, we had about 10 meetings about the same shit, you know, over the weekend. I'm like, we having all these meetings for, you know, some of us talking about we gonna take a knee, and some guys talking about, they ain't gonna take a knee, but we already had it made up in our mind that, hey, man, we could take a knee, and they ain't really even know, it's not a problem. So, all right, so I gotta tell y'all this. So I got it. Yeah, JG, I'm finna put your ass out there. Real talk. I can't make this up. It's the truth. So I remember we had a meeting. We break that meeting. Me and Skandrick go to JG. Skandrick can vouch for this. We go to JG and be like, hey. Skandrick say, hey, me and 88, we gonna take a knee. Coach Garrett say, okay, cool. Whatever you boys decide to do, you know, we behind you, whatever. Blase, blase, blase. But the way he said that, I was like, nah, hell nah, he ain't right. So, all right, he walk away. He go to his room or whatever. Skandrick was like, hey, let's go get something to eat. I was like, nah. I said, he ain't right. I can tell he ain't right. He was like, man, I'm telling you he good. I said, nah, I'm gonna get with you. So I go ask the travel people who take our stuff, which room Coach Garrett in. Man, I ain't never been to his room on the road, never, ever in my life. So he gave me his room number. So shit, I go to knock on his door. I go up there, knock on his door, but when he opened the door, he was like, come in. I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I ain't never saw this motherfucker in this type. I ain't never in my life saw him react like this, ever in my life. He was like, I just got off the phone with Charlotte. She gonna make sure everything is straight, gonna be cool. Charlotte texts me. And the way Charlotte texts me, I still got the message in my phone. The way she texts me was if, I'm overreacting. And I was like, man, I know I ain't overreacting. I just said I'm gonna take a motherfucking knee. It ain't no problem. It ain't no, hey man, I'm being supportive. you know? So I leave this room, because I'm like, this is some odd-ass shit. Like, I already know you the type of guy to go stand in the mirror and practice your speeches. Nothing about you real, buddy. So just keeping, just keeping it real, you know? Like, so left there, I told Scandal, I said, man, I told you he wasn't right. Told him everything, what had went on or whatever. So anyway, the next day we get to the game, right? We get to the game. We had about 2 to 3 meetings again. I'm like, hey, man, we already said we finna take a knee. What's going on? Like, what are we even talking about? Like, for real, like, what are we talking about? Get to the locker room. Jerry come up in that motherfucker. First thing Jerry started talking about, basically, he was just saying, speaking about his brand. Shit. We ain't finna fuck up his brand. Basically, what he's saying. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We gonna take a knee together. We gonna do it before the national anthem. But in my brand, I'm like, that's defeating the purpose. Like, what's the point of us even doing it? So, and I'll never forget this, and I'm gonna say this too. Kayvon Frazier, he was a rookie at this time. That was our best special team player. He was a rookie. And I remember him putting his fist up. His ass did not dress up the next 2 weeks without pay. Did not. He was our best special teams player. And I have no hate towards, Mr. Jones at all, because I feel like I learned a lot from him. Really have learned a lot from him, as far as like on the business side of things and, how he runs. I don't think nobody in the game better than him when it comes to business. Yeah. So let's make that clear. Yeah, man, I think this is the best Cowboy team I've saw in a long time. I love Dak and CeeDee connection. Yeah. I think they the best in the game. I kind of wish me and Romo had that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 120, 120 receptions. You ain't gonna do this.
Yeah, I ain't never saw that.
You stop giving them the pressure, they might have kept throwing you the ball.
Hey, facts. They got the talent. I think they the overall best talented team in the NFL besides the Baltimore Ravens.
You look at Mike McCarthy, he's a Super Bowl winning coach.
Yeah.
Is he the coach to take this great collection of talent to the ultimate prize, which is the Lombardi?
1,000%. 1,000%. I really do think that he is the right fit for it. I like the way, I really loved how, I like how he developed guys.
Yeah, he took over for Kellen Moore this year, and look at the team offensively.
I like how he give his playmakers chances to beat them. He put them in a position that fits them. That's what I've always respected about Coach McCarthy, even when he was with the Packers. I was like, man, Jordy Nelson, who's Jordy Nelson? You got to know Jordy Nelson to know Jordy Nelson. And look what he did for Jordy Nelson.
Jordy Nelson gave me hell.
Hey.
Jordy Nelson.
That white boy used to eat you up?
Hey, Jordy Nelson's a good player, boy.
And he was catching bombs. Hey, he was catching them deep.
PTSD.
I remember him at Kansas State. I'm talking about going crazy. Randall Cobb, quarterback. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just look how he developed them guys. And it's like, and now he's doing this with, real premier talent. Right. Look at what he's doing, So I really do. I think he's the man for the job. And he did it in a short period of time.
I'll get messy at the end.
Get messy.
Would you rather play for Dak or Romo?
I like Dak right now. I like Dak.
Would your career have been better if Dak was slinging that biscuit to you?
I think my career would be better if it was Coach McCarthy being the coach at that time. You get what I'm saying?
He did not maximize guys.
That's how I feel. I feel like he always was preaching about, let's not lose opportunity, boys. I'm like, but you the head man in charge. Not putting us in the best position to really go out here and do things. I hated when it was third down. Everybody knew the ball was coming to me. Yeah. So it was bad, and it was like, still got to make them plays, get it right.
I won't go messy that way, but I want to ask you, the quarterbacks of two of your former teams, Dak and Lamar, who's the MVP?
Oh, man, that's great. That's a great question. Both guys are deserving of the award.
Yep.
They are. But the only reason why I would say Lamar, because that team don't function without him. It does not. Baltimore is not Baltimore without him. You get what I'm saying? Yep. And I just think with all of the adversity that he's been through and steady, being an overachiever, and the year he's had, the best record in the National Football League. I love the Todd Monken hire. I made that comment on your post the other day. I really do think that Todd Monken and Lamar is equivalent to Mahomes and Reed.
Oh, wow.
I believe that deep in my heart. Like, you can go back and check my tweets. As soon as they hired Monken, I was like, oh yeah, they going to the Super Bowl. Lamar winning MVP. This was in February. This was way before the season even started. You know, because I got the opportunity to play with Lamar. Like, I didn't like how I didn't. Coach Harbaugh, y'all know I like speaking that real. It wasn't Harbaugh's fault. You know, I didn't like how Lamar was being coached from what I saw. I felt like the dude was extremely too talented. I feel like if you just challenge him just a tad bit, we gonna see something that ain't never been done. Mm-hmm. And I also said this too. We still yet to see how great the Ravens are right now. I believe that on the offensive side of football. That's how dominant they are. I feel like Todd Monken went in there. I feel like he learned Lamar, and he built around Lamar. I didn't see that when I was there. You know, I saw things when Todd Monken was with Georgia, the little sweeps with the quarterback, getting the lineman to pull over here. Saw the same thing with Lamar. I was like, ooh, he do that with Lamar. Oh my gosh. You get what I'm saying? And you know, because Stetson Bennett, you know, he's athletic. He can run a little bit. And but yeah, man, just to see, you know, I already knew that was the perfect fit. That's the perfect match. You know, Ravens got a lot of Coach Monken up, you know, if they want to get the best of Lamar. I don't think no other offensive coordinator in the National Football League can bring the best out of Lamar the way Coach Monken.
Dez, man, you gave us more than we bargained for, bro. That was excellent.
I feel like I didn't give y'all nothing.
Nah, you serious. You might have been the Cat Williams of wide receivers. Man, that was awesome, man.
Sir.
Hey, man, appreciate you being open and vulnerable, too, man.
Yes, sir,
I appreciate that, man. We
No
need more of
problem
that.
at all.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.